Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I do hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to this early morning, middle of the night bonus upload. Before we jump into it, a couple quick links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost a cent. Click that like button. Takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads that I put out daily, click the bell icon. And folks, please leave a comment and share the video. Why? Well, because all of these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. They definitely do matter, and they are appreciated. And with that, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to this early morning, middle of the night bonus upload, shall we? I was just kind of taking a break and I started to watch something. I don't even remember what it was, a couple of hours ago. And then I went out and shot some basketball with my daughter. But I started to think about how our children or ourselves, we kind of model ourselves after our parents, or, just that kind of parental child bond and such, and how we do learn and take different things from our parents. And then I thought about, I don't know how or why, I thought about Victor, and I do know why. It was because I was thinking about the night that he used his computer and he was tracking to see, he wanted to see if any chipped dogmen or werewolf were in the vicinity of my hometown. And there was. Actually, there was one in the cemetery where my daughter saw her dogman. And it wasn't that night, but... And then I thought about Victor's dad, I thought about the LBL, and then I thought about this upload. And I was like, I really want to hear this upload. For some reason, out of all of the interviews and all of the talks that I've had with Victor, I like this one a lot because he talks about his dad a lot. And his dad did the same thing he did. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, tonight I have Victor back with us, and he decided that he was going to discuss the LBL, his father's case, and his case, in one show for you guys tonight. Victor, how are you?
I'm good.
You sound good. I'm looking forward to this because I've only heard bits and pieces of your dad's, just everyone knows the LBL story, but nobody knows your dad's version of what went down because he was there. So, or not there, but after the fact there. So, the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. Well, I thank you, and I'll give you my dad's views and what took place and what he done when he was there. After they got the call and they arrived there, he witnessed a 18-foot travel trailer. The way it was positioned was north to south with the tongue facing north. tail of the trailer to the south, and that was towards a heavy wooded area in this particular campsite. There was other guests there this night also. There was 2 other sets of campers along with this family there that night. They stated all night when he interviewed the other 2 families that there had been howling all night and that everybody had been out talking about it. And this one family, I won't use their names, still don't have permission to use their names. And that they was very frightened by it and had talked about leaving. The dad was the only one that wanted to stay. The mother, the son, and the daughter all wanted to leave. But this was a brand new camper trailer, and they had been in it. I think they said this would be their 3rd night. The family went to bed somewhere around 10:30, and the howling continued and got closer, according to the other families. One of them went to bed one of the other families went to bed at 11:15, and this hadn't happened at that time. So, when they went to bed, they said that it sounded like this was just beyond this camper trailer, who was the furthest back in the campground. And they said that all of a sudden it just went totally quiet, silent. It stayed that way for 30, 40 minutes. No crickets, no nothing. And then the crickets came back and they eased off to sleep. And they was just getting to sleep. They said, this is coming from both of the other families said the same story. Said they was just getting off to sleep. And it sounded like there was an explosion. There was screaming. You could hear metal ripping, they said. And both of the men jumped out to see what they could see. They were shining lights back there. Said you could see the trailer shaking. And that it was over in a minute. Said 60 seconds, everything stopped. One of the men stayed there, the other one went out and made a call to the DNR or to the campground administrator. That's who they called. The campground administrator came in, went up there to the trailer and found what had happened. He actually found the man outside the camper. It looked like he was trying to run away and was drugged partially back inside. He had one foot in the trailer and the other one, the rest of them was outside. The woman never stood a chance. She was destroyed inside the trailer. The son was probably 30 foot behind the trailer. And the little girl that they call a little girl wasn't as little as everybody thinks. She was about 80 pounds, and she was found nearly 2 miles away. She was found in a tree, about 35 foot up a tree. And my dad retrieved her, and they was all just what was left of me, wasn't a whole lot of anything that was left. And they took them to the coroner, and he said that it was either a bear attack or mountain lion. And he said it was a mountain lion or a bear. Well, they ruled out the mountain lion pretty quick because they couldn't figure out how it could tear into the camper trailer like that. So they was all saying bear, so they called the DNR in. DNR shows up and says that there's no way that it was a bear. Said a bear wouldn't tear into something like that in the first place. And there's no one finding tracks. They had ruled out the mountain lion. The DNR agent said that it couldn't be a bear. So he decides to make the call to us when they couldn't find tracks and everything, and got my dad involved. And they couldn't find any tracks. And finally my dad came upon the tracks and knowed what it was. Next morning early, they started the hunt. My dad and one other agent was there. And they had already found the little girl. They had found her during the night. They had actually walked up underneath the tree and blood had dripped down on them. And that's how they found her. So they went back to that position and was starting the hunt from there to see, what they could find from there. And my dad was hidden along that area with another agent some many feet away. About 400 feet away is my recollection, I think is what he said. And they decided to wait till dark or at late evening and try to see if it come back in. So as they was starting out, they caught some movement. Just as they started to move, they seen some movement. So they both stayed and held their position. And as they did, here it come out of the far side, like out of a small opening, like thin trees, not like a field opening, but like thin trees openings. And was coming back, and it came back to that very same tree and was looking up to see if she was still in that tree. But she wasn't, because it done been taken down, and that's when my dad took it out. And that was a werewolf. And that was a lot of years ago. And then you come up, I think my hunt was exactly 7 years later. the same campground. They hadn't closed it down yet. They had the road blocked off to it, but the campground was there. And this hunter walks in, and he's walking into his tree stand. He's got a tree stand in there. And he witnesses something moving. And it was just a flash. He just caught the flash of something. So he thought it was a deer initially. And he goes to follow it. And it keeps going further and further and further. And this gentleman was a little up in years. He was 54. And he's getting to where he's decided that if he does kill it, he's not going to be able to get it out. He's walked probably a mile, mile and a quarter. And he's decided that if he does kill a deer, he ain't going to be able to get it out. He's not going to be able to drag it out. So he stops. And he's hunting from the ground at that point. He's past his tree stand, and he decides to go back to his tree stand. And then he sees that flash again that was still going the opposite direction. But he gets a good glimpse at it, and then it stops, and he can see it like it's 60 yards or so is where we found the tracks, where we think he finally got to see it clearly. And he just froze. He didn't try to shoot it. He didn't move. He didn't do anything. But he dropped it back towards his vehicle. At this point, it just overtook him. It killed him, ripped him up really bad, and drug him back to the very same tree that that little girl, or she wasn't that little, but that girl was in. His family called the DNR and said that they had a missing hunter. And they found his truck that night, but they didn't find him. And with the circumstances being what they was, they went ahead and called us on account of the situation with the area. You know, some people believed in it, some people didn't. So they made the call about the area and called the scene. And at this time, I'm on. And I come down. I get there and find it, get to his vehicle, start tracking him. He was easy to track. I followed it straight to his bow. And then we start following drag marks. And we know then that it's bad on account of the amount of blood and everything that's around, that it's not going to be a rescue, it's going to be a recovery. And but what was mind-boggling was we followed it to the very same tree. He was up in the tree and wedged between two limbs. And the creature was about, 12 foot above him in the tree, asleep, sleeping across the limbs. And I shot it out of the tree, and it was a werewolf also. And that area is highly prone to them for some reason. it's a good travel area for them. It's always had them and probably always will. And it's just amazing that they went up the very same tree.
Yeah.
That with that. And I even went there with my dad. And I wasn't going to say a word about what tree it took it up, what tree it took him up. And he took me to the very tree. And I was just amazed at what had happened.
There's a lot of game in that area too, so that's probably a big reason why. I mean, there's plenty of water and plenty of deer, plenty of everything.
All kinds of game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All kinds of game. There's deer, bobcat, rabbit, there's everything. And there's plenty of it. I mean, there's plenty of game there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's just all kinds of food in that area. So, but that's a father and son 7-year apart hunt.
You were pretty young back then too.
Yeah, I was pretty young. I was probably maybe 4 years into my career.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years tops. So, yeah, my dad was just about going out when that happened, and I was just coming in. So, a lot of years.
Yeah, most definitely. And there's a lot of accounts coming from that area as well. I mean, just...
Yeah. We've been in there so many times over the years since that happened. We've taken out so many. We've taken out Dogman from in there. We've taken out Werewolf from in there. We've taken out 2 unidentifieds.
No, when you say unidentified, what's that, like, you can't explain what they are, or you just shot them up so bad that you can't identify them, or?
No, it's just unidentified. That's what they're known as. And that was very early on in my career also, and I wasn't involved in neither one of them, but I know about them, but you know, I wasn't there when it happened.
Right.
So,
I got a couple quick questions I want to ask you. If you can answer these, I know, we'll leave the location, maybe the state, but the location undisclosed. There's a recent hunt that you just went on, very recent, and you saw something that you'd never seen before. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. We did a very recent hunt, got a 911, and I took 16 agents there. We couldn't land the Hueys, so we had to let them rappel. We put them out in 4 4-man groups, and they had a successful hunt. They killed 11 dogmen and 5 werewolves. This individual was being terrorized by what he said was werewolves. And I could tell by my tracking device that we had creatures in the area that was from the breeding program that was right on top of him practically. And we went in and we killed 11 dogmen and 5 werewolves. Well, when we got them out, excuse me, 8 of the dogmen had bobbed tails, less than 2 inches in length. And I've never seen it before. Never. I don't know if they're bobbing them, if they are deformed. That's an awful lot of deformities in one group.
Yeah, big coincidence.
And I don't think it's a coincidence. So I think they're trying to mimic maybe the werewolf, but they've got a snout on them, so they can't mimic a true werewolf. They don't have the full breast, the chest of a werewolf either. They're big. We killed, of the 11 we killed, 7 of them was over 8 foot. So they was large.
Do you think they were like, I wonder if they bobbed their tails because they realized that there was a call in, you know, you guys were calling them in and, you know, euthanizing them. I wonder if any of them had caught wind of that, but they can they communicate? I mean, do they communicate with each other? Is there a way, like a werewolf can communicate, but I mean,
they communicate. I'm sure they do. They've got to.
Yeah.
But
so, like, I mean, are they that intelligent to where they can, I mean, not verbally communicate with each other, but realize, hey, we're being now hunted. The only thing that's not getting hunted is the werewolf. They don't have a tail. We look pretty similar. Let's start getting rid of these tails. You know, I mean, are they that intelligent?
I don't think so. But that's a question I'm going to have to ask some of the scientists.
Because that's a lot of intelligence, you know. I mean, that's some really, I mean, tactical planning. Wolves and, you know, animals can tactically plan
let me
things,
say this.
Yeah,
they was being bred for war, and when we was going to lead them in, they know how to respond to commands. You know, we could command them to do something, and they know how to do it. But as far as doing something on their own, I don't know if they would have that intelligence to bob their tails to try to look like something.
Right.
But if I was to give the order, if I was to program the order for 1,000 of them on chip to go after such and such person, they would do that. But how, I don't know how I could send an order to them to bob their tails.
Right.
And who would send it? I mean, I've got me and one more's got the key to that right now. So, and it takes both of us to do it.
Maybe there's something else going on. I don't know. It's definitely creepy. I mean, like you said, that's a big coincidence for
Yeah.
8 of them to have no tail, or a tail but 2 inches long. And
Yeah.
obviously this guy, was shaken up, scared.
He's terrorized.
Yeah,
I heard it.
he described a werewolf.
Yeah.
And come to find out it's a Dogman. So I mean, geez, I wonder if do you think a rogue has Dogman and werewolf ever teamed up or packed together? Ever?
Not that I know of. Ever.
Evolution is weird, I mean, put
Yeah,
something in
it
the woods
is.
for a long time together. Eventually, they may periodically, who knows?
Yeah, it's possible.
Werewolf go rogue and get a little group of dogmen together, and who knows?
That's right. I can't swear that it couldn't happen.
Right.
I can't. No, I can't say that it wouldn't.
So now, I know that you and I have something planned.
Yeah.
I need a couple of more people, so I'm gonna just make the announcement right now with you. And you sound a little tired tonight. I'm a little tired, so we'll call it an early night tonight.
Okay.
But let's make the announcement of what the idea is, to where we want to have anywhere between 10 to 8 people, 3 questions each, and we want to do a 3-way call. So what'll happen is, whoever's interested, email me your 3 questions, email me your call or your number, or you know what, don't email me your questions, because you wanted to just do it raw, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody interested in this, my email is in the description below. Email me. We will randomly pick. I got 2 people lined up right now. We'll randomly pick 8 more, and you get 3 questions, 15 minutes each call, so it's 15 minutes a call. If it goes past 15 minutes, we're going to have to cut you off because of the extended time. But you get 3 questions, 15 minutes with Victor. Victor will answer it, and no holds barred.
Right.
So the email's in the description below, and I've got 3 people actually. I not 2, but whoever, send me your phone number if you want to be part of this, and that's what's going to happen. All right, guys, and just prior to us recording it, you've got to agree to 15 minutes because there's got to be a cutoff point. So, all right. Is there anything you want to say about that?
It's open mic that night.
That'll definitely be a good time, I think.
Yep, I think we will. I think some people can meet me a little bit and get to speak one-on-one.
Yep.
So if you want your 15 minutes on one question, that's fine.
Yeah.
So whatever you bring to me.
All right. Well, Victor, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for sharing these 2 father and son hunts with us. And you and I have got some planning to do. So, guys, have a great night, all right, Victor?
Good night, everybody. Y'all be safe out there, and always enjoy the outdoors.
And there you have it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this early morning, middle of the night bonus upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you all for supporting the channel. It is, after all, your support that helps the channel to continue to grow and go, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is simply treated with the respect that we deserve. Please stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and our friends. These creatures are real. These events have happened. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless you all.